Cash flow's king. Long-term cheap money, long-term debt, and fixed rate mortgages. Boom, those are your four. And if you like this content, guys, thank you for watching. We want to invite you to be a part of the community. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, let us know how to get in touch with you. We're always looking for partners. We'd love to talk to you offline, so click the button below, watch one of our other videos. Let's go. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So we're doing another one of these educational videos. We often have people over to the house where we talk real estate. Oftentimes the conversation gets brought around to credit, good or bad. I talk to people who love Dave Ramsey and they're just, you can't borrow money, it's terrible.
They did not give their income to Sallie Mae. And you know how you get rid of Sallie Mae? You either pay her off in full or you die.
Then I talk to other people who say, oh yeah, but I read this Robert Kiyosaki book about cash flow and you've got to have debt. And
poor people say to me, I don't have any money. I said, because you're an idiot. That's why. You're not supposed to use your money. You're supposed to use other people's money. But that's scared. I don't want to do that. And so they stay poor.
Robert, where do you stand? What do you subscribe to? Do you ride the Dave Ramsey side, or do you love Robert Kiyosaki? And so I'm going to apologize in advance because I'm going to ride the fence here, and I'm going to tell you that I love both these guys. When it comes to personal debt, I'm a Dave Ramsey guy. My wife and I, we've gone a decade without having a personal credit card. We've seen what happens when you have credit and the market changes on you. And we used to have a business that was debt driven. And guys, I didn't sleep for 2 years when the market changed. So that was painful. That taught me a lesson that I only want to learn one time. So now you fast forward, it's been 12, 14 years since 2008 when things were really, really painful for us. And we've gone a long, long time where we've only done things with cash or where we've partnered with money who had cash. And so I am not going to tell you that you should go out and borrow a bunch of money personally and use it to go on vacations and use it for personal items and all of that stuff. In fact, I'm going to completely advise against that. Follow Dave Ramsey. If you don't know him, look him up. The guy's brilliant, and he will tell you that you need to be gazelle-like and run from the debt.
When you give your income to someone else, you don't have it anymore. And when you give your income away, you've given up your economic future.
That's the way I feel about personal debt, and I think Dave Ramsey is brilliant, and I highly encourage you watching it. This video, however, I said I was going to play the fence. I'm going to gear this way more towards entrepreneurs and real estate investing and buying cash flowing properties. So much more up Robert Kiyosaki's alley, right?
You're not supposed to use your money. You're supposed to use other people's money.
Talk about 4 ways that I think you can use debt to enhance your business, especially when you're starting out, or maybe you've been in business for a little while and you've accumulated some properties. And so there are 4 times when I think that debt can be used in business properly and to help you to be more successful. We subscribe to the theory that cash flow is king. Not cash is king, cash flow is king. And the crown prince is equity. So you want to be having your properties cash flowing and gaining equity. That's the first thing that I would say about responsibly using debt, is that don't borrow on anything that's not cash flowing. So what does cash flow look like? Cash flow means that you have more income coming on your property than you have expenses going out. And I won't get into all of the math, but that takes into effect what's your mortgage cost, what are the taxes, the insurance, what's the vacancy rate, all of this stuff. Those are your expenses. And does your income that comes in through rents exceed those expenses and give you some positive cash flow at the end of the month? If so, then you have a cash flowing asset, and it could be safe to take out some debt on this and then use the money to buy another property. They call it the BRRRR: buy, renovate, refinance, repeat. Second, if I'm going to take debt out on any of my properties, and I will tell you that up to this point in Puerto Rico, we have over 100 doors, long-term rents. We have zero debt. We have, over the next 2 years, we will have over 200 doors on the short-term rent. So with between Airbnb and hospitality and just small hotels, guest houses, and those kind of things, those two, at this point, we have zero debt. So there's a couple of reasons that we have zero debt. One, when we first came to the island, we went around and talked to all the banks, and there really weren't loan products for this stuff. So I said, hey, I'm gonna buy these properties, I'm gonna get them cash flowing, and I'd like to come in and borrow some money at low equity and safe loans for you, Mr. Banker. And they all loved me, and then 6 months went by and they said, sorry, Robert, there's just not a product for you at this time. So fast forward 4 years, a little over 4 years, and it does seem like some of these debt products are starting to come to the island, and so we are looking into taking out some debt. So if I'm gonna take out debt, and I'm gonna do it on a cash flowing property, then I want long-term debt. I want debt that's going to be at a fixed rate, that's gonna give me 20, 25, 30 years to pay it off, maybe 15 years, but I want long-term debt. I don't want it to be adjustable. I don't at all subscribe to get the best price that I can get now. Let's find something that's going to cash flow, that's going to make money from day one, and I'll build my equity over time. So that got into the third thing, which is I think it's a requirement that you must have a fixed rate interest rate. So you want to know, I'm going to borrow this money for 25 years and I'm going to pay 6% on it. This is my payment. And so what that does for you is it locks in your bottom, right? You know that this is your floor for expense on that cost of money. You could make it artificially more expensive by paying down the debt quicker if you have enough cash flow, and I highly encourage that. And then the last thing, I think that you should have lots of equity. If you're going to borrow money on your cash flowing assets, you don't want to borrow up to 100% of what the value of it is today. Because if you do and the market changes and you lose some tenants and you lose that cash flow, now it becomes very painful and you're in a spot where you owe more than it's worth. So I would say that you take a property that's cash flowing and it's worth $200,000 and you go borrow 60% of that or less, then that's going to be a safe range for you to be in. So you've got 40% in equity, plus your equity should be growing over time through appreciation and by paying down the debt. So those are the keys that I can give you as to my thoughts on how to safely use debt, starting out in your business, and how you can set yourself up for a lifetime of success. Like, comment, smash the subscribe button. God bless.
Credit cards, stupid. Student loans, stupid. Car payments, stupid. Borrowing money on your house to put granite countertops in. Somebody ought to smack you.